I'm glad you're back, Storytime friends. Let's wake up Shelly so we can get started. 1, 2, 3. Wake up, Shelly! Oh, she's barely moving. She's really tired now. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Wake up, Shelly! Oh, I'm more and more tired. Well, let's read together to wake you up. Today we're going to start with Inch by Inch by Leo Leone. Ooh, that looks like where I live. It does. Here we go. One day, a hungry robin saw an inchworm, green as an emerald, sitting on a twig. He was about to gobble him up. Oh no! Don't eat me. I am an inchworm. I am useful. I measure things. Is that so? Said the robin. Then measure my tail. That's easy, said the inchworm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. He is useful. Just think, said the robin. My tail is 5 inches long. And with the inchworm, he flew to where other birds needed to be measured. The inchworm measured the neck of the flamingo. Ooh, that would be a loopy ride. You're right. He measured the toucan's beak. Thank you. This is a floppy book, Shelly. The legs of the heron. The tail of the pheasant. And the whole hummingbird. One morning, the nightingale met the inchworm. Measure my song, said the nightingale. But how can I do that, said the inchworm. I measure things, not songs. Measure my song or I'll eat you for breakfast, said the nightingale. Then the inchworm had an idea. I'll try, he said. Go ahead and sing. The nightingale sang and the inchworm measured away. Thank you. He measured and measured. Can you find him? Oh, there he is. You're right, Shelly. There he is. Inch by inch. Oh, it took me a minute to find him this time. Yep, there he is down there. Thank you, Shelly. Until he inched out of sight. Yeah, he is nearly out of sight. He was a pretty clever little inchworm, wasn't he? That's the end. He was clever. And you can do something clever at home if you like. You probably have a ruler or a tape measure at home. You can ask your parents, and you can measure your own things like an inchworm. Yeah. I wonder how long I can stretch. Yeah, we'll have to measure you with a tape measure sometime, Shelly. Okay, before we read our next book, let's shake our sillies out. Let's get our music up. Here we go. Shake, shake, shake my sillies out. Shake, shake, shake my sillies out. Shake, shake, shake my sillies out. And wiggle my waggles away. Clap, clap, clap. clap my crazies out. Clap, clap, clap my crazies out. Clap, clap, clap my crazies out and wiggle my waggles away. I gotta jump, jump, jump my jiggles out. Jump, jump, jump my jiggles out. Jump, jump, jump my jiggles out and wiggle my waggles away. I gotta yawn, yawn, yawn my sleepies out. Yawn, yawn, yawn my sleepies out. Oh, and wiggle my waggles away. I gotta shake, shake, shake my sillies out. Shake, shake, shake my sillies out. Shake, shake, shake my sillies out and wiggle my waggles away. And wiggle my waggles away. Good job. All right, now this is a story you may have heard or maybe not. Let's read about Corduroy. You'll find that Corduroy imagines all sorts of things in his home at the department store. Maybe you can imagine things in your home, like mountains and adventures, even boats. Your couch can be a boat. Let's see what Corduroy imagines. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. Thank you, Shelly. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps." Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain, he wondered? I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. He's a pretty brave bear. I agree, Shelly. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there before his eyes was a most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. "This must be a palace," Corduroy gasped. "I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace." He wandered around, admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed." And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once he saw something small and round. "Why, here's my button," he cried, and he tried to pick it up. But like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop! Off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled, bang, into a tall floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. Oh dear. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now, who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all, and there he saw 2 fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning, and there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the saleslady asked. "Oh, no, thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. "This must be home," he said. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and gave him a big hug. "Oh, that's nice. Home is a special place. I get to carry my home everywhere I go. That's pretty convenient, Shelly, and I'm glad you and I are friends." "Me too." "All right, I'm glad you guys are our friends too. Let's finish with our special song. What a wonderful world. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" They're really saying, "I love you." I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. See you next time.